With a news update on WHTC Holland's Cool FM, I'm Gary Stevens. Howard Fink is back in local government operations along the lake shore. During a special meeting last night, the Zeeland Township Board approved a contract with the one-time Park Township manager to be its interim superintendent. He emerged before finalists for the post, and on a 4-1 vote, Township trustees approved a contract with him for no longer than 9 months, paying $140,000 annually. Retained legal counsel Ron Eberly of Bloom-Suggett helped draft the pact.
I believe the Township Board has selected a talented and well-respected individual for the position of interim superintendent, and I believe that the agreement before the board is appropriate, minimizes risk, and is fair.
Fink would step in when current manager Josh Eggleston leaves next Friday to assume a similar position in Holland Township. A 73-year-old Port Sheldon man is expected to recover from injuries sustained when he was hit by a motorcyclist yesterday afternoon. According to the Ottawa County Sheriff's Office, the unnamed homeowner had walked across Lakeshore Avenue near Olive Shores Avenue around 1 a.m. to retrieve his mail from the box across from his residence. As he started to return, he stepped into the path of a northbound motorcycle operated by a 34-year-old Muskegon man. While the biker was treated at the scene for bumps and bruises, the pedestrian was taken to an undisclosed local hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The incident remains under investigation. A step has been taken to address a smelly situation in northwest Allegan County, but apparently more has yet to be done. On Wednesday afternoon, Laketown Township officials went to the 60th Street site of a composting operation by Coco Corporation, posting a stop work order following more than a year of foul odors emanating from there. Township planners in June had terminated its approval of this operation with immediate effect, but Coco had continued its actions, necessitating this order, which is a misdemeanor offense if violated. During the Township Board meeting later in the evening, Tom Mahoney of Republic Services, on whose property Coco had run this operation, expressed his gratitude over this latest action, but cautioned more needs to be done.
We are concerned that even with the stop work order, odors may continue to negatively impact the township residents. Additional steps against Coco must be taken. Today's order to cease active operation only resolves part of the issue. Coco must also be compelled to clean up the site, to not abandon it, and to not leave a mess in its wake.
Coco owner Adam Brent was not at the site when the stop work order was posted, and the matter may eventually have to be settled in the courts. The township has set aside up to $25,000 in legal fees if this is the case. Dozens of homeless people who had been living in tents on North Edward Street on Kalamazoo's north side have been removed by that city. The encampment was removed by 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon after the city gave people 72 hours' notice. City Communications Manager Mike Smith says they were addressing an obstruction of the public's right-of-way while they also work to connect the homeless with resources and services that are available to them. Several of those homeless say they are on a wait list for shelters but don't know where they're going to have to go next. The search for a 16-year-old boy who had drowned in Gun Lake will continue today. He went underwater on Wednesday night while swimming, never came back up. State police and others have been searching for the boy near Orangeville Island in the southern part of Gun Lake. Now, the search only is happening during daylight hours. Lake bottom is described by authorities as murky with a grassy terrain. The Kalamazoo Institute of Arts is expanding with a $3.1 million project. Senior Operations Officer Monica Walker says they last expanded in the late 1980s, and this would be their most significant construction project or renovation project that the KIA has endeavored in decades. The expansion will upgrade infrastructure and equipment, expand classroom space, and expand the school commons on the main floor. Walker says the KIA has had a 20% increase in program attendance in the last couple of years. Over 100,000 people are taking part in programming this year. Battle Creek police have arrested a 76-year-old man for allegedly trying to assault a woman and then having a standoff with authorities yesterday morning. A 56-year-old woman had told police she went into an argument with the man early yesterday. He chased her with a gun when she ran from the home where the argument happened. He then hit their car's window before going back inside the home. Police had to call a SWAT team in and then arrested him on felony assault and weapons charges. Governor Whitmer is opposed to Consumers Energy's proposal to sell its 13 hydropower dams and warns the deal would impose unacceptable safety and financial risks on Michiganders. The utility wants to sell the dams, including the Calkin Street Dam in Allegan, to a private equity company. Consumer spokesman Brian Wheeler says they haven't seen any proposal from the state which offers a reasonable path forward to keep the dams in place. Whitmer wants the Public Service Commission to reject the sale. Cases of cyclosporiasis in Michigan have risen to 13,909. That's an 11% increase in the past week. The Michigan Department of Health and Human Services says the state had 1,400 more cases in the last 7 days, continuing to be the hardest hit state in the nation on this. Wayne and Oakland counties in southeast Michigan, most cases of the parasite, which causes sudden and explosive diarrhea, with over 3,100 cases combined there. A source for the outbreak has not been positively confirmed by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention in Atlanta. The top of the state's GOP slate for the November 3rd general election is now set.
Republican gubernatorial nominee John James selecting State Representative Jay DeBoyer of Clay as his lieutenant governor running mate.
This is a man who knows where all the bodies are buried, but he doesn't have dirty, bloody hands. This is a man who understands how it works and is committed to fixing it.
Now selecting him means the Republican Party ticket for governor, lieutenant governor, attorney general, U.S. Senate, and Secretary of State, all male for the first time since 1978. I'm Michael Arney.
The formal state Republican Party nomination is next Saturday at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort in Mount Pleasant. The Democrats hold a similar confab on August 28th in Lansing. Its gubernatorial nominee, Jocelyn Benson, has yet to pick a running mate. The number of first-time filings for unemployment are increasing across Michigan, according to the U.S. Department of Labor, which says for the week which ended last Saturday, August 8th, there were more than 6,400 first-time filings in the state, nearly 2,000 more than the week prior. Nationally, the number of initial filings increased compared to the week prior. The Michigan Department of Transportation will hold a third annual Career Fest next Wednesday from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. A virtual session and requirement of registration can be done through the state's website, michigan.gov. Attendees will be meeting with MDOT staff, exploring career paths, and learn about open positions and qualifications. The Woodward Dream Cruise is back for year number 31, running through Detroit's northern suburbs. The official ribbon-cutting ceremony will be in Ferndale at 5 tonight, followed by a Lights and Sirens cruise parade. Then the big parade on Saturday. The Woodward Dream Cruise has grown from his fundraiser to build a soccer field in Ferndale to the largest single-day automotive event in North America. Nearly 1 million people expected to either line or be a part of the driving festivities along M1 tomorrow. Grand Rapids 28th Street Cruise, modeled after the Woodward Dream Cruise, is set for next weekend. Yesterday, Keeter Montero and two relievers teamed on a 4-hit, no-strikeout shutout as Spencer Torkelson and the Tigers countered the visiting Cleveland Guardians 3-0.
You know, I think every game's important, really no matter who the opponent is. Obviously, they're a good team. They play us really well. But no, we're trying to win every single day. It doesn't really matter who's in the other dugout, but we're playing good baseball right now.
Meanwhile, Eugenio Suarez clubbed a homer with 4 RBIs, powering Terry Francona's visiting Cincinnati Reds past the White Sox at Rate Field 9-8.
That was just how we drew it up. That was a lot going on there, but we hung on, and it would have been a really tough loss, but it's not. So it's a good win.
Detroit and Chicago begin a weekend series against each other at Comerica Park with coverage from Dan Dickerson at 6:15 p.m. on WHTC Howland's Cool FM. Kate Gavelli allowed just a 7th-inning single by Michael Busch while striking out 10 over 8 frames as Blake Butero's Washington Nationals blanked the visiting Cubs yesterday 7-0.
He's just, picking up more and more experience from each previous outing, and also the time in between that he has with his teammates, other pitchers on the team, and our coaching staff. The job that whole group has done together to allow him to keep fine-tuning his craft, I think what we saw today is a great example of that.
Chicago entertains the St. Louis Cardinals at Wrigley Field this afternoon. Bo Aniki's 2-run homer in the bottom of the 9th inning enabled the West Michigan Whitecaps to beat the visiting Lansing Lugnuts last night 7-5. The series at LMCU Ballpark in Comstock Park continues this evening. Evan McPherson booted 3 field goals as the Cincinnati Bengals held off Dan Campbell's visiting Lions in preseason action last night, 16-14.
I thought they competed hard. I thought what I loved is we got in a lot of situations that, for a lot of young guys, that was excellent. I mean, we saw all kinds of different things.
Detroit hosts the Washington Commanders at Ford Field next Saturday afternoon with broadcast time at 11 a.m. on WHTC Howland's Cool FM. Get the latest news anytime at WHTC.com.